What's going on, everybody? The world is a better place because you are here to join us. My name is Matt Brown, and I am the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. And it is Tuesday, November 3rd. No, sorry, Tuesday, September 3rd. Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. That's it. Labor Day's over. The summer's over. I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend like I did. And yeah, the fall starts today, essentially. And we are about to begin our coverage of all things football for the next 3, 4 months. As I mentioned, every single week we're going to do a reaction to college football. So this will be obviously the week one reaction for the college football season. We'll do the same for the NFL. And obviously, since this is a holiday week and it's a short week, I should say, things are a little different. So on this Tuesday, we are releasing our NFL and sorry, on this Tuesday, we are releasing our college football weekend review. We'll also release and also today we have our NFL preview. So check that out as well. Being released today. And then Wednesday is the tweet cap this week specifically. So we do our training topics Wednesday. Thursday is our picks for week two. Sorry, in week two for the college football season and week one in the NFL season, as we will do every week. Thursday will be picks day for this fall on Productive Conversations, and then back on Friday with another training topic show and the tweet cap there. So next week is our first regular week for the rest of the fall and into the holiday season. And then we'll rock and roll from there. So next week, Monday, we will have week one in review for the NFL season, as well as the week two review of the college football season. Tuesdays will be tweet caps. Thursdays will be picks for both college football and NFL. And then Friday will be the tweet cap, and that's how we will rock and roll. Amongst that, obviously, we will be doing MLB postseason shows, October baseball, especially not missing that, especially with the Yankees making a push. Even though some days you feel like they're the World Series champions, and some days you feel like they are going to get out in a blaze of glory. Also have the Mets to look forward to for our local squads. And then just it's interesting as baseball is very tight this year, no clear winner. We can see where things roll with baseball. Then at the end of October, the NBA season begins. We get the NHL season beginning at the end of October as well. So obviously it's a busy time. It's the most exciting time. It's the most fun time. And yeah, after a very successful summer doing shows and really finding a grip with what we do, we're now revamping it for the greatest audience in the world, the Productive Nation. And yeah, time to hit our goals and time to talk all things sports, news, entertainment, and culture. So let's focus on today and let's focus on the show right now. We have the NCAA week one college football week to discuss, a week in review, a very good week, I might add. And yeah, I know there is a Monday night football game for college with Georgia Tech and Notre Dame. But if anything huge comes in there, I will discuss that on Thursday. And so some of these shows will be just me, some of them will be me and another guest. But the big thing is you and me, as in the audience, are about to go on this road together and we're about to enjoy this great show once and for all, focusing all things college football week one. So yeah, let's do it. Let's discuss what's going on. And here we go. Week one of the college football season. So much to take in. Let's obviously talk about the game of the week. In their debut in the Big Ten, USC took on LSU at a neutral site game. They played at the where the Raiders play in Las Vegas, and it was a hell of a game. Literally went down to the wire. LSU continues its week one winless streak. I think they've lost 4 out of the last 5 week one matchups. And you could think this game and what it'll be remembered for is by a guy named Keegan Hudson, a wide receiver, and he made arguably the catch of the year already. And who knows, maybe one of the most memorable college football catches of all time. You won't miss that. So after that, towards the end of the game, Game is tied. They're marching down the field. They're trying to get in field goal position, and we see USC's Keegan Lacey again. Sorry, you could see Keegan Hudson again, getting hit, targeting hit in the head, but still makes the catch. And you can thank Woody Marks getting the rushing touchdown after that. And LSU looked pretty mid, with the exception of Kieran Lacey. Kieran Lacey, their wideout, had a solid game. But after this win, after the intense battle and making a statement for the Big Ten, we see USC, we see the Trojans knocking out LSU, keeping a firm hold in the rankings, and Clemson goes down 8 points after this loss. So pretty ugly, if you have to ask me. So people pretty upset down in North Carolina, but hell of a game, exciting moments throughout. Again, Keegan Hudson, the game of his life, not only making the catch of the year, that one-handed catch in midfield, and also just marching down the field in the fourth while getting hit in the head, makes a one-handed catch to secure field goal position, and they went even closer to the red zone. And then Swoop kicks it in, and no, now don't kicks it in. And then we have Woody Marks running in for the touchdown, and good stuff there for USC. Amazing to begin that way. Then we continue on. We look at what Georgia did, and Georgia looked awesome there. And by the way, did I mention Clemson? I got my notes mixed up. We have LSU staying. Though Georgia played Clemson, and after this ugly, ugly loss, we see Georgia defeating Clemson by a score, I guess on their terms. Let me just get this so I get this right. Georgia's defeating Clemson, at one point ranked 14. Now they are 23. We see Georgia defeating the Clemson Tigers by a score of 34-3. And at first it was only 6-0 going into the first half, and then Clemson ran with it. Carson Beck looked great out there, throwing 2 touchdowns. And Clemson had no answers for Georgia, both offensively and defensively, leading to the Georgia Bulldogs getting a huge victory over Clemson. And Clemson goes down 8 points in the rankings, just at 23, while Georgia looks like a top team in college football once again. The Georgia Bulldogs, I know a lot of people have criticized their schedule and how easy it is, but they play a ranked opponent against a very good coach with a good reputation. But even this shows that he is still having his flaws after some down seasons, winning the national championship a few years ago with Trevor Lawrence. And look what happens. It results in a huge win for Georgia, and they stay on top of the college football rankings and top of the SEC. And a great week 1 victory for Kirby Smart and his team out there. And for Dabo Sweeney and a lot of people wanting his head and wanting him to go out, I don't know. You have to bounce back from this week. Obviously, to not even put up a fight. At first, you did in the first half, but then it went all downhill from there. You have Appalachian State at home this Saturday. You gotta post a 50 spot on them. You have to. Let me see the early spread on that. Let me get that for you. And the Clemson Tigers, what could they do to make sure that Dabo doesn't lose his job and get some love? All right, the spread's only 17 points with Appalachian State. So, yeah, try to at least you gotta obviously cover that spread and cover it mightily to give some hope for your Clemson Tigers again. Okay, let's move on. Everybody's favorite team to talk about in college football, even for the non-college football fans. Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, a new year, more NIL money, more more supporters for the organization. And what's going to happen? They play an FCS team despite being one of the better FCS teams in North Dakota State. And Colorado does not wind up covering. They do win. They kept it close, but some questionable calls by maybe from stat packing for Colorado, but ultimately they slicked what was a 10.5 point spread, wound up, I believe they only won by 6. I will confirm that right now in just one moment. But North Dakota State, when is like the Mountain West going to adopt them? When are they going to get some love? That's they've had some legit talent come out of there who have been good pros. What's taking so long for North Dakota State, where Carson Wentz went? What's taking them so long to finally become an FBS school? Only time will tell. Am I right? But Colorado wins 31-26, and despite Shadeur Sanders and Travis Hunter doing their job, looking like the Heisman candidates they are, and possibly even both of them could be top 5 picks in the NFL draft. Ultimately, Colorado only wins by 6 points. Sorry, only wins by 5 points, and you gotta manhandle better teams like that. Your next game will be when is your next matchup going to be? Colorado Buffalo will play the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and they're going out to Nebraska 7:30 p.m. Saturday night, and yeah, try to embarrass Matt Rule out there like it did last season. I believe also in week 2. But not being in not keeping it close against an FCS school, not good, but plenty to improve on after there. And a team that looked like things were going to be much better still cover the spread, but the University of Michigan, the reigning national champions, are back. We had an intense quarterback battle between Davis Warren and Alex Orji. And Davis Warren was the one who started, and despite the win, despite winning, um, Fresno State held their own against Michigan. Let's see what let's get some numbers right here. Sorry, the spread was 21.5 and they only hit 20, so blah blah blah. But after Orgy came in and play who still I think he's the better quarterback over Warren, but we'll see right there. The running game wasn't as efficient as it could be against Fresno. Uh Fresno actually outpassed Michigan. Weren't looking good, but obviously a big game against Texas this week. Things could change it around. And after Texas themselves manhandled Colorado State 63-0, where Quinn Ewers made some noise, and then we also saw the college debut of Arch Manning. They went up 3 spot. They now Quinn Ewers in Texas are now in the 3 spot, and they are looking legit over the Michigan Wolverines. So a little too close for comfort, if you will, for Michigan. And yeah, a big win over Texas could change things, but who knows? Maybe we'll talk about that in our picks on Thursday. But my pick, Oregon, of course, has a tough game against Idaho. Idaho stayed in the entire game, even with Dylan Gabriel, Heisman favorite, having a very good game. Just defensively, they were stopping him, stopping the wideout, stopping the rushing game. Oregon looking really, really good. And, they went from third in the nation down to 10, and they need to have an offensive powerhouse next week once and for all, because this team should have not kept it close against Idaho. But ultimately they did. But what's great about the college football playoff, you still have a little wiggle room, not too much, but a little wiggle room to go back to the film, beat the teams you're supposed to beat them handily, and then get in a good position when we hit December, when we're playing for conference championships, and see if Oregon, also new in the Big Ten, can secure a role there. And talk about new things. Kellen DeBoer began his debut with the University of Alabama, the Crimson Tide, a 63-0 victory over Western Kentucky with Jalen Milroe's 5 touchdowns, all Crimson Tide, rising up in the rankings themselves after that win. Awesome stuff from there, and Alabama looking really good, even with a new boss in there. You know what the Who said? Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. So far, Kellen DeBoer could be that very person. And then talk about some other teams that made some spots early up. Louisville goes up 8 spots thanks to Tyler Shows 4 touchdown gain off over Austin Pay. The University of Central Florida went up 11 points, just absolutely manhandling the University of New Hampshire 57-3. You could thank KJ Jefferson with 142 rushing yards and just 11 carries, and 300 more rushing yards for the team in general after that. Pretty, pretty awesome stuff for the University of Central Florida, making a name for themselves once again. And we also had Auburn. Don't forget Auburn, 73-3 victory over Alabama after Alabama A&M. You could thank Peyton Thorne. Only had to throw 12 passes, and 4 of them were touchdowns. A quarter of his passes were touchdowns. Maybe Auburn is a team to look at for the SEC. And yeah, as we approach some other big games coming up, and as I mentioned, we will do our picks on Thursday for where we see things going in college football. I think there's a lot to look forward to, and there's also teams to you know, there's also teams that really need to bounce back, which also includes LSU, which includes Florida after getting manhandled. I even heard some of their recruits went back to the U after that big victory. But and just hitting on that, Cam Ward just kicking ass at Miami. Just had no answers for them, no answers whatsoever. And early Heisman's favorite, establishing himself right from the get go in Cam Ward. Let's look at what he's got in his game. Cam Ward, 26 for 35, 385 yards, 3 touchdowns, a quarterback rating over 189. He did everything right. Completed 74% of his passes. Throwing the long ball, lot to look forward to with Cam Ward. That will be a Heisman favorite that I will definitely be paying attention to. And after that, they went up 11 spots. Now in the they went up 12 spots in the college rankings. Now they're at number 11. Good stuff for the ACC in Miami, but I would say that's your top ACC team already. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, people? The U is back. And just a personal note, because I am from Connecticut, why not look at what UConn did? They go to a Big Ten school. They take on the University of Maryland, and it was pretty ugly the whole entire time. 50-7. And yeah, what was this? The guy who's the coach of UConn? I should know this. But a lot of people had high expectations for him, and what was it, Jim Mora, I believe? Let me double check that. I don't have Dolo with me today, so um yeah, Jim Mora promising to change the program once and for all for UConn. Did whatever he did at UCLA, and yeah, not a good start for UConn. You don't want them to be thinking about college basketball season already. I mean, it's the very first week of September, but an ugly showing for the Huskies in the football realm. But oh well to that. But there's just so much to look forward to. I'm just so happy college football is back, as we did see the teams that were supposed to dominate, like a Texas, like a Georgia, um, and stuff like that. The teams that were didn't show up: Michigan, West Virginia, LSU to an extent. But there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot to talk about, and as I said, every single week during the college football season, as we did last year, we'll be here. We'll review the biggest games. We'll look at the college rankings. And when we get closer to the college football playoff, we will do our special coverage there and see what potential matchups happen once we hit the holiday season. But for now, on a Labor Day recording this and releasing this a day after Labor Day, there is a big thumbs up that college football is back with compelling stories all over, and we will see how the rest of it all unfolds. So again, for my friends, on top of this show being released today, Tuesday, September 3rd, we have our NFL preview we do every single year. Me and Alec Reeves do that. So check that out, going through all 32 teams, making our futures picks. And yeah, there it is right there. So more college football coverage coming your way on Thursday. Week 2 picks along with week 1 NFL picks. So we'll discuss all of that then. College football playoffs, the road to the college football playoff has officially begun. And let's enjoy this, my friends. College football's back. It's going to be a special season. And my name is Matt Brown, and I am the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. Check us in every single week for college football coverage. Thank you to Magic Mind for sponsoring us and being a presenting sponsor. Always don't forget to get your shot of Magic Mind for better mental clarity and a better way to start your day. And yeah, check out our NFL coverage that begins today as well. NFL football preview. The National Football League, the NFL preview is available on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. So we'll see you on Thursday with week 2 picks, and we'll see you a week from today with a week in review in college football. All right, Matt Brown is out.